Hi, and welcome back to Brief Recaps. A girl called Lilith has a pretty normal life of any other teenage girl, except from the fact that she happens to be the daughter of the devil and lives with him in hell. One day she gets fed up of being stuck in hell, so she strikes a deal with her father. She is permitted to visit Earth for a week, but she must convert a nice and innocent person on Earth to become bad. If she succeeds in this test made by the devil, then she may be able to have her dream of staying on Earth indefinitely come true. But if she fails, she stays locked up in hell for eternity. Today, I'm going to explain and recap the movie called How to Be Really Bad, released in the year 2018. The movie begins with Lilith, introducing us to hell, which isn't a smoldering dark place burning with the devil horns like you may think. In fact, it's a huge metropolis where the demons, led by her father, the devil, focus on investments and brokerages to keep people on the bad side. Evil is flourishing, except for a place called Birkenburn. Lilith spends her days giving terrible advice to people online. She's always thinking of causing more trouble. This is made clear when her dad finds her teacher tied up. The devil frees the teacher and has Lilith explain the sin of envy. She uses materialistic examples, so her dad reminds her that they can only tempt the humans. They can't force them to do evil. Lilith gets angry and reveals that she is fed up with online evil work, and in her anger burns the fancy carpet. Later that night, Lilith asks her dad to allow her to be a field worker and commit evil on Earth. In the morning, the devil agrees, but Lilith knows there must be a catch. She has to turn a good person so they commit evil. If she succeeds, she'll get a new job on Earth, and if she fails, she'll be in hell forever. Lilith takes the deal and shakes her dad's hand. The next day, the devil drives his daughter to Earth. He warns about physical contact with humans and gives her a black sphere that glows if she becomes too emotional. However, he tells her that the sphere should always remain black, and that way, Lilith will know things are going as planned. Lilith's target on Earth is a girl named Greta, the eldest daughter of the Bernstein family. Upon arriving, she notices that they live in a cute, cozy house, and Greta is frustratingly friendly. As she greets her, her mother, Sybil, doesn't know personal space. She hugs Lilith despite her pretending to be sick with the flu. The entire family of 5 is all too kind. They compliment each other all the time, which makes Lilith's stomach sick, especially during dinner time, when they all start singing like one big happy family. Lilith knows this task given to her will be difficult, since Greta is way too kind, and even when Lilith tries to enrage her by breaking the expensive plates. Shockingly, Greta actually apologizes to Lilith instead and takes the blame for it and cleans it all up. Later on, Lilith asks Greta about her friends and lifestyle and discovers that she is a lonely nerd with no friends. When Greta goes to the bathroom, Lilith looks around Greta's room to learn more about her and tries to find something she can do to turn her bad. While looking, she discovers several images of her secret high school crush. So now Lilith has enough material and has an idea of turning the crush against Greta and try to play with her emotions, which in turn will make Greta become evil. The next day, on the school bus, a guy called Eddie shows up and sticks gum in Greta's hair. He then picks on Lilith, but she stole the perfume from a girl and drinks it, and right after breathes fire using a lighter and scorches Eddie's hair, terrifying him and his friends. Lilith wants Greta to rejoice in the bully's punishment, but she seems more worried about Lilith's safety and doesn't feel any revenge from her bullies being put in their place. Later on at school, a daredevil called Samuel causes a commotion as he threatens to jump off the roof only to safely leap down when the fire department is about to be called. It seems Samuel has a habit of doing this kind of stuff. During their math test, Lilith tempts Greta to cheat using an iPad, but the latter simply refuses because she knows all the answers by herself. Melody and Daria, the 2 plastic girls, show up during recess and belittle Greta for her fashion sense and cheap clothes. Lilith discovers that Greta has been bullied for many years, so she doesn't care anymore. Suddenly, Lilith notices Greta's crush named Carlo. Greta blushes at the sight of Carlo. She says he's a womanizer and he's into the plastic popular girls only. He has never acknowledged Greta's existence ever. Since Greta really likes him, Lilith has an idea. She approaches Carlo with a lot of cash and pays him to date Greta for only 3 days and then break up with her. Lilith is confident the breakup would rattle Greta and lead to an evil outburst. Carlo goes and asks Greta to join him for the musical rehearsals as his date tomorrow. After, another guy called Samuel locks eyes with Lilith and then walks away with a sly smile. She follows him behind the school and they start talking. They get along well and start getting to know one another until suddenly Eddie and his gang interrupt. They want the Rolex watch that Samuel stole from them. Samuel refuses, so they try to get him, but he quickly flees in parkour style and climbs on top of the wall so they can't reach him. After, They turn their focus on Lilith, but before they could do anything, she fights back and easily rips the traffic sign out of the floor and smacks them on the head. After that, they get scared, so they flee from the scene. She is shown his unique location since Samuel is so amazed. They scale the roof of a church to observe the town and the beach. Lilith adores the locations, but when he unexpectedly kisses her, her eyes light up. She pulls him away after becoming startled and rushes back to Greta's house. Flustered Lilith struggles to comprehend these emotions. She tells Greta, who now thinks Lilith is in love. Lilith scoffs at her and says there's no way she's in love with him, as she is aware of her devilish nature and can't ever fall in love with a human. Later on, she holds the black sphere, and strangely its color changes to fuchsia, indicating her emotions changing. When her father phones, he explains to her that some devils have flaws, so they can feel love sometimes too. These types of devils are an embarrassment to hell and are immediately removed from the field. Saddened, she hangs up the phone and rethinks her choices when dealing with Samuel and others to make sure she never feels those emotions. The family is unwinding in the living room after supper. Lilith resolves to prove to herself that she is still wicked by bringing up Greta's relationship with Carlo. Greta is incredibly uncomfortable, even though her parents are proud of her for finally growing up. Lilith recognizes her improvement, so the next day she offers to give Greta a makeover, wearing stylish but not very modest clothing. Sybil refuses to wear these garments, and although Lilith challenges her by claiming Greta may wear anything she likes, Sybil forces her daughter to wear the normally knitted gowns she produces. Bullies at school point and laugh at the dresses, even calling Lilith and Greta names. Lilith makes the decision to play both sides by making up a story regarding Sybil's knitted gowns. She has Greta pose awkwardly for pictures, wearing the unflattering dress, after which she creates a website with phony supermodels wearing the same outfit. Melody and Daria are shocked as Lilith makes it viral. They begin requesting one of those outfits from Greta, so they may follow the latest fashion trends. Greta is overjoyed and slaps Melody's shoulder inconveniently, since she thinks she has become friends with the plastics. While everything is going on, Samuel approaches Lilith and invites her out on a date. Lilith fights the urge to say yes, and ultimately declines and says she's busy, though Samuel doesn't give up, and he announces he's taking her to the beach, the one they've both seen from the rooftop. Lilith loves that place, and has always wanted to visit the seaside, so she changes her mind. Upon reaching the beach, Lilith has a wide smile on her face. The couple takes off their shoes and feels the sand against their feet. Lilith runs around, enjoying nature and Samuel's company. When she dips her feet in the sea, a feeling of serenity and joy overwhelms her. Lilith actually feels happy for the first time in her life. Greta is at band practice back at the school with Carlo. As vocalists, there are also Melody and Daria. Greta comments that the girls' voices are too high-pitched as they practice for an upcoming school event, and proposes a lower pitch. Carlo is astonished by how knowledgeable she is about music and invites her to join the group. Greta enters the stage and reluctantly shares the spotlight with Melody and Daria before the three of them start singing, since they are such amazing vocalists together. Sadly, the teacher interrupts rehearsal to say that the show has been canceled because Melody and Daria uploaded an offensive music video online. Greta and Carlo are left perplexed as Melody and Daria storm away. At the beach, Samuel and Lilith relax on the sand and share stories about their lives. Lilith ignores her father's texts because she is so happy with Samuel. He kisses her again, but this time she doesn't run away. Samuel invites her to the movie theater and she once again accepts. They go for ice cream and Lilith's dad sends dozens of texts because he's worried about her. She replies by saying all is well and that she's busy. Lilith notices many couples enjoying romantic afternoons, so she is taken by a flood of human emotions. She knows something is changing within, and that terrifies her. She won't be able to complete her mission now. She abandons Samuel and the ice cream without explanation and flees. While walking from school, Carlo invites Greta to be a permanent singer in his band. She is hesitant to accept because the other girls don't like her, and she isn't popular. Carlo says her voice is special, and her singing is great, so she'd be a valued member of the band. They lean in and almost kiss when Greta's dad and Lilith appear. Carlo is startled, and Greta turns awkwardly red and leaves in with them. At home, Greta breaks down in her room. She bursts into tears and tells Lilith things keep getting worse, and this was very embarrassing for her. Lilith tries to console her, and she succeeds in making her stop crying. Suddenly, Lilith freezes. She realizes that she feels remorse and pity now. She feels terrible for what has happened to Greta. When she inspects the sphere, she notices a heavy concentration of color this time, indicating she's reached a higher emotional and sentimental range. Greta asks about the black sphere, so Lilith makes up a story about it being a type of thermometer. Later, they go to the garden to pick up some radishes. A sad and conflicted Lilith decides to be honest with Greta. She tells her that in 2 days, her father will take her back home and away from this new life that she's enjoying. All of this will happen because she has failed her mission. Lilith says she has an evil nature and that she's not like Greta, although she doesn't actually tell her she's the devil's daughter. Greta has trouble comprehending why would a father would want his daughter to be evil, and Greta encourages Lilith by saying that she's an amazing person and can complete her dad's task in 2 days no matter what. The next day at school, all seems to be going perfectly well. Melody and Daria accept Greta in the band, and as a friend because they have some of the supermodel knitted dresses, Greta joins their popular clique and makes other girls jealous of her new popularity. Carlo appears, and he seems to be enjoying his time with Greta, and he really likes her. He is about to kiss her, but Lilith grabs him and pulls him away. Lilith tells him to stop the game and that she wants to cancel their deal because she cares about Greta's feelings. But Carlo reveals that his feelings are actually authentic, and he's falling in love with Greta because he finds her beautiful, and they seem to get along and are interested in the same things. He goes back to Greta and tells her the truth about making a deal with Lilith where they plan to break her heart. Carlo apologizes and leaves. Greta's tears well in her eyes as she is utterly distraught and disappointed with Lilith's intentions and thought of her as her best friend all this time. Lilith says sorry, and that it is related to her mission of doing evil deeds to impress her father, the devil in hell. Greta is not satisfied with the apology, so she walks away. Samuel texts Lilith and asks her to meet him at their spot on the beach. There he reveals that he was going to Berlin, but his life completely changed once he met her, so he wants to stay here now because he loves her. Lilith is disturbed by this confession. She says meeting and dating him was the worst thing that happened to her. She sadly rides her bike, her mind still conflicted with the emotions like love, happiness, and remorse. She doesn't know how to fight her evil nature and how to accept these new feelings. She rides the school bus and tells Greta everything. She holds the sphere, which is now swirling with vibrant colors, and talks about failing her mission completely. For the first time, Lilith sheds a tear. This makes Greta forgive her and hug her in public. Greta decides that they must find a way to stop Lilith's dad from taking her. On the day of the event, Lilith's dad attends the celebration and wants to check on his daughter's progress. Daria, Melody, Greta, and Carlo plan to prank the principal for canceling their music gig. During the presentation, the principal talks endlessly about his trip and safari and shows the audience pictures. Carlo switches some of the pictures with embarrassing ones, much to the delight of the crowd. Eddie, the principal's son, and his band try to play classical music, but are unable to, because Daria and Melody filled their clothes with pop rocks. The show is seemingly a flop, but Carlo plays some music and suddenly, Daria, Melody, and Greta appear on stage and sing their coolest one. The crowd loves their song and dance and starts madly cheering. After the song, Greta publicly thanks Lilith for influencing her and changing her life. Lilith's dad takes her outside, so she braces herself for a scolding. Out of nowhere, he congratulates her on succeeding in the mission because he is under the impression that Greta turned evil, manipulated the band, and then pranked the principal and his son. Lilith notices the sphere remaining pitch black. Her dad smiles and allows her to stay on Earth and do more evil deeds. Greta appears and explains she was responsible. She tricked the principal and painted the sphere with black nail polish to hide Lilith's emotions. Overjoyed, Lilith runs to a broken-hearted Samuel who has packed his stuff and is waiting for a bus to Berlin. She apologizes and reveals her true love for him. She kisses him and changes his mind about leaving. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this and want to see more, please make sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel with notifications turned on so you never miss a future video. And until next time guys, take care.